everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we are at my desk, my trusty computer, because I thought it would be fun for me to go through my YouTube analytics and just kind of have a bit of a deep dive into what is going on there and what it looks like. And I specifically asked for questions and queries from my patrons and then also from people on Instagram of things to investigate. So that's kind of how we're gonna navigate our way around all of the analytics that YouTube offers in terms of video performance and like audience behavior and like all of these things. I will say that on a regular basis, I do not deep dive in this way. It is not in my nature to like really go into these things. Obviously, I still look at my analytics every now and then. I notice kind of trends and stuff, but like sometimes figuring out like a specific answer to a specific question or problem about like, oh, why does this video do better than this? Or like performance stuff, whoosh, right over my head, and just don't have the time or the interest in really like going hard. But I thought this video would be a fun excuse to do that, to go hard into the analytics. And also, obviously, you're watching this on my More Hannah YouTube channel, but I also have my Sex and Relationships YouTube channel. So we're also going to do a bit of comparison between the two, because if you've been around since I started this channel, you'll know that one of the many reasons why I did start this channel was to maybe have a bit more of a brand-friendly space, so we can see the difference in monetization and demographics and stuff between the channels as well. But yes, without further ado, let's dive in. And first off, I kind of just want to show you what the YouTube Studio dashboard looks like for creators, because many of you may not have seen this and like what it looks like from our end. So this is my main channel dashboard. The first thing that you might notice is that we have a channel violation, an active community guideline strike, a warning. So this is not a channel strike. Got a warning a few years ago for linking to the about page of some ethical porn. Not allowed on YouTube. If I get a strike or do something against the community guidelines again, then I will have a strike and I'll be locked out of my channel for a week, which I would rather not happen. The main thing that I kind of use the dashboard for is you see this latest video performance thing, and this is the bane of so many creators' lives. It's a recent-ish thing that YouTube brought in, but basically it ranks the performance of your last 10 videos, and it is brutal. Basically, if your video is doing well, everything is up arrows, everything is in green, it's looking really happy. If not, then it's all in gray and down arrows, and it'll say like 10 out of 10 is the worst because it's like ranked the 10th in terms of views. If you get one that hits that #1 spot, you literally log in and confetti. Like there's a confetti animation. I just hate how this can affect my mood. Like I see the green and I see the confetti and I'm like, oh my God, aren't I an amazing YouTuber? And you see the gray and it's like 8, 9 or 10 out of 10 and you're like, well, that's the end of my career. I'm now going to be miserable for a week. So yeah, not a fan of that. Even if maybe, is it a bit useful? I don't know, but emotionally, not a fan. And then you can see just like an overview of your channel analytics. Before I dive into your specific queries, one thing that I want to mention, especially with the main channel, is that I've had a few videos go a bit viral that are mostly viewed by men, and because those videos are so popular, it actually skews the demographics of my entire channel. So if you look at like my most recent videos, you'll see that it's like majority women who watch them, but you look at my overall channel demographics and it looks like it's mostly men who watch me, but that's just because they're watching in droves on these very specific videos. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have a feature where you can omit certain videos from looking at your overall analytics, which I would love, because I definitely have like a few videos that I would consider anomalies in terms of my general stats, but alas, they'll just skew my demographics forever. But let's dive into your questions. So these first bunch of questions come from some of my patrons. The first is, I definitely want to know whether the spice level of videos affects the number of views. Do videos with more provocative titles / topics get more clicks? And how many of those videos are demonetized? Okay, a lot of questions in one, but all very good questions. I don't think I could find the exact data on if spice level affects views and stuff, unless I created my own spreadsheet where I came up with my own system of like ranking how spicy the videos were and then like looking at the views and stuff. But in general, yes, like spiciness is definitely more interesting to people. And certainly with like a more provocative topic or title, they do tend to get more clicks. And then how many of my videos are demonetized? That is a great question. So if we go to content, and then you can like filter by monetization and limited. Limited means it has like the yellow money sign, which means it's not suitable for most advertisers. So that's kind of like what we mean when we say demonetized. And here you go, you can see all of the demonetized videos. A lot of sex toy stuff. Interestingly, the first of my buying products from sex positive small businesses and artists video is demonetized, but the second one isn't. Measuring my vulva, that got demonetized, but measuring my boobs, not demonetized. What is the system here? I don't know. If we go to my More Hannah channel, there are 2 videos that are demonetized. One is my favorite books of 2019. Maybe it's got something to do with one of the books in that. Who knows? And then the other is the comfy work from home outfits. Is that because I think I dance around in my bra in that video a bit? Is that why? But I'm in my bra in so many other videos that aren't demonetized. That's the only thing I could possibly think of for why that is demonetized. What are your favorite videos to make versus the ones that get the most views? Is it frustrating when a video you put a lot of time and love into doesn't perform well? Yes, that is always frustrating. In terms of general patterns, there is like one kind of video that I really love making that so far has always been like a big hit. And that's these like weird like experimental videos that I do. So it is kind of like the measuring my vulva, weighing my boobs, like those kinds of videos that I find very silly and very fun. But also I'm very aware, I'm like, this video is gonna do well. People are gonna click on this. People will like this. An interesting thing for the More Hannah channel though, I get a lot of comments from people saying that they really love videos that I make about books, and there's a lot of requests for videos about books, but the book videos tend to perform the least well. But yeah, there's clearly like a very vocal group of people who just like love books and love book content, but that kind of content actually doesn't have the same like mass appeal. But I do love making those videos. Have you ever had a video that is years old and then all of a sudden on a specific day, loads of people revisit it? So no, I do not have my equivalent of All I Want for Christmas Is You. But last year, at the end of last year, I did make a do's and don'ts of buying sex toys as a Christmas gift. So we could always see if that like maybe gets a little spike at Christmas at the end of this year, who knows? But that's something that I don't really pay a lot of attention to. So the main way that I would find out in terms of how I use analytics if an older video was suddenly getting more views is from this like overview of channel analytics, where you can see your top videos in this period, and it pulls all of your top viewed videos. So as you can see, you've got the Weighing My Boobs and Sex Survey 2022 results videos, which are like 2 of my most recent uploads at the time of recording this. But actually the number 2 video in terms of views in that period of time, the last 28 days, was the Kegel balls video that I made in 2019. So that is just like still getting views. Then you've got the not wearing a bra for a week with big boobs. That is one of my viral hits with the men. They don't tend to stick around for very long. As you can see, it's also giving me the average view duration. So the people watching the not wearing a bra video are sticking around for 1 minute and 26 seconds. Whereas, as you can see for my most recent upload, the sex survey one, people are sticking around for 12 minutes and 10 seconds. That's 43% of the video. So, you know, it's a lot more popular with like my core audience, and people are actually like interested in watching that whole video. Whereas for some of the older ones that are popular, people will like click on it with a certain idea of what they think they're gonna get, and then they don't get it and they click off. Yeah, and you can see like a lot of these ones are older videos. So you've got like tier ranking my sex toys, silicone mold of my vulva, trying different sex toys, reacting to sex scenes in Hollywood movies, and then my what the heck is a stoma video from 2018, still gathering a whole bunch of views, and the average view duration on that is almost 20%. So not bad, not bad. On the More Hannah YouTube channel, because it's newer and there's less of a backlog of videos, it tends to be that the most popular 10 videos in that period were the most recently uploaded ones. So we've not quite gotten to the territory on this channel than we have with the main channel, where you've got videos from the backlog that are just still gathering and gathering views. So the difference in revenue between the two channels in terms of percentage or a ratio. So actually I did some maths, I did some mathing to try and figure this out. So this is for the last 365 days. So for the last year across both channels. It turns out that my Hannah Witton channel, the sex and relationships channel, the main channel, got 7 times more views than the More Hannah channel, but it got less than 3 times more revenue than the More Hannah channel. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of like, it's getting 7 times more views, but not even 3 times as much revenue. So it's not as simple as like 7 times more views, 7 times more revenue. Now we are on to some of the questions from people on Instagram. Times of day most people watch videos. When your viewers are on YouTube, so the darker bits is when more people are online. So I upload on this channel that we're looking at now at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday. And so as you can see, it's pretty even from 4 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Fridays and Saturday evenings, people are busy. People are not watching YouTube on Friday and Saturday evenings. At least my audience aren't. So yeah, I would not upload on those days. It's hard to tell though sometimes, like, is it reflecting back to me that yes, people are online on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. because that's when I upload? Or are they also just like on the platform more generally at that time as well, and it's got nothing to do with my upload schedule? But yeah, this is why I upload during the week and like not on the weekends. Demographic changes for different types of videos, i.e. viewers for your goals video versus weighing your boobs. Great question. I'm also going to throw in the sex survey video to compare to as well, because weighing boobs and sex survey are on the same channel, but like they definitely appeal to slightly different segments of my audience, which I think will be interesting to look at. Also, before we dive into the demographics of this, obviously YouTube only gives me like male, female, men, women. It doesn't include non-binary people. It also doesn't specify whether those people are cis or trans. So for weighing my boobs, since it was published, the gender split in viewership has been 60% male and 40% female, mostly viewed in the United States and then United Kingdom, India, Germany, Canada, mostly 25 to 34-year-olds and then the 18 to 24s. So everyone remember that. Then the sex survey video is like 84% female and 16% male watching that. And then again, the same age as the majority, but actually for the sex survey one, it looks like the age of people watching is far more concentrated in the 18 to 34-year-olds. But for the weighing my boobs video, there were definitely a lot more visible longer bars for the 35 plus. And then also majority United Kingdom. So I think that this kind of video is a lot more reflective of my core audience demographics. But let's also have a look at the goals video that was on More Hannah on this channel. So this one hasn't been out as long, but so far, oh my God, 97% female viewership and then 3% male. But the age is fairly similar to the sex survey video, and again, mostly United Kingdom as well. Can you see if people skip to or rewind parts of videos? Yes, yes, I can. So this is how I can see what parts of videos either people skip or rewatch. And it is the audience retention graph. And this is great because actually this little bump here that you're seeing of the audience retention, it looks like two boobs. How perfect is that? But as you can see, the average percentage viewed is 12%. The average view duration is 2 minutes 18. What we can do is we can click along this to find out what is actually going on here. So this is the part that people are rewatching, and it's the part where I'm wearing my vest top without a bra, and the main spike is happening here. It's just, yeah. So I remember this. Basically, I shuffled my boobs in my top, and then suddenly there was a lot of cleavage and my nipples were on show, and my editor put a bar over the top of my nipples so we wouldn't have any female presenting nipples on YouTube, because, you know, that could have been another community guideline strike. But yeah, there you go, too rude for the tube. But what I imagine is happening here is people are like trying to rewatch to see if they could get a glimpse. And that is my pessimistic view of society. Let's take a look at a sponsored video and see if people skip the ad. Okay, so this one actually doesn't have too much of a dip. Maybe it's here, the sponsored part. Yeah, there. Yeah, but yeah, and you can see then it like rises again clearly when the spawn bit is over. But actually that's not too bad. That I wouldn't be mad about if I was an advertiser. So this is my studio tour video that also had a sponsor, and the sponsor came like right at the end, and you can really visibly see on this graph where people just like dropped off. And that might be my fault because I put the sponsor kind of like near the end, whereas like maybe if it goes more near the middle, less people would drop off because it's like, oh, it's a sponsor and the video is coming to an end anyway, so like goodbye. In general, like the retention rate for this video, like I think that's pretty good. And then poof, spawn gone. What do you present to brands / companies when trying to get sponsorship? Good question. So the general things that brands and companies tend to ask for is like a breakdown of demographics, so age, gender, and location. And then they also want to get a sense of kind of like average views and like reach and impressions and things like that. Because that's the stuff that only I can see. Obviously they can get a sense of like views and engagement from publicly just like looking at my channel. Is watching a video from a YouTube Premium account good for a creator? Yes. So I love YouTube Premium. I have a YouTube Premium account. I don't even remember what it's like getting adverts on YouTube anymore. So I think in general, yes, it is better for the creator. The creator is going to get more money per view in general, I think, from somebody watching through YouTube Premium than somebody watching who may or may not get served an ad. Also, as you may know from my accounts, advertising on YouTube is very unpredictable. Obviously, a lot of my videos on the main channel get demonetized, but also there's this thing called CPM, which is like cost per meal, which is basically how much you're earning per 1,000 views. And that can change as well, depending on the type of content that you're creating and also like where you are making that content or like where your audience are, because different territories, different countries have different amounts of CPM. So the CPM on More Hannah is higher than the CPM on the Hannah Witton channel. And also, if you are somebody making like finance content, your CPM is going to be huge because those advertisers that want to advertise on your content have got money to spend, and that is like lucrative and sought after advertising space. There are less advertisers who are interested in advertising on my content. However, that being said, my pregnancy announcement video earned more in its first week than that channel normally earns in an entire month. So the pregnancy content, you know, that is where the money is. But for someone like me whose general CPM is real low, watching from a YouTube Premium account is better for the creator in terms of finances. On your lifestyle channel, what kind of videos are most popular? So I mentioned that I think the book videos are the least popular. My most popular video is my calendar blocking video. Love that. And then my next one after that is talking all about my custom made wedding dress. And then like my husband picks my outfits, clearing out my wardrobe, 30 before 30 bucket list, best and worst purchases. I think as a general rule for me, a lot of the like fashion content definitely does really well on this channel. That calendar blocking video just clearly just like went off and had a life of its own. That's fun. I'd be interested in seeing spikes in channel growth and what videos / factors caused this. So we are looking at the More Hannah YouTube channel from the last 365 days in terms of subscribers. And as you can see, the beginning of last year, there was a lot of growth. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. What was this spike? So it says an introspective Q&A about 10 years on YouTube, and then also that was right after that spike. Which were the ones before it? Okay, so trying to cook spaghetti bolognese featuring Dan, and then also introspective Q&A about 10 years on YouTube are the ones that came before, and then dressing like a rainbow for a week kind of came after. I don't particularly remember any of those videos doing really well. So that spike in subscribers at the end of April, no idea what that was. Then we kind of had this down period. I took some time off, and then there wasn't really much growth after that. And then again, like really low growth whilst I was sick from pregnancy. And then this spike right after that, I would predict that is pregnancy announcement. So even though the pregnancy announcement happened on the other channel, I think it probably just like fed through to this channel as well, in just terms of more people finding out and wanting to like maybe follow more of the pregnancy journey in terms of the kind of content that goes on More Hannah. So this is the main channel subscriber growth over the last 365 days. Let's see, what was this first spike over here? I made a silicone mold of my vulva. That video did do really well, so that would make a lot of sense. This spike here is one of the episodes of the Hormone Diaries. People were into that apparently, having sex every other day and blood tests. Then it's like pretty steady. We've got a little bump here. What was that bump? Measuring my vulva, also a popular video. And then as you can see, there's this big spike here, which makes no sense to me. So this spike here, this smaller lump, was when I announced the pregnancy. So as you can see that like it had less of a spike, but more of a like prolonged subscriber growth after it. But this spike, what is that? On Monday the 20th of December, over 1,000 people subscribed. No idea, because neither of these two videos were particularly popular, the sexy faves or the what are my sex values. They definitely were more appealing to my core audience and not really ones that kind of went out into the world. Who knows what that was? Honestly, sometimes things like this happen where like maybe somebody that I'm completely unaware of has like recommended my channel or mentioned my channel, and then like I've got a influx of new subscribers, but I'm just like, I have no idea where they came from. If you subscribe to that channel on Monday the 20th of December 2021, let me know. Which videos get age restricted and why? I mean, I can just tell you off the top of my head, the age restricted videos are the sex toy videos. I tend to not age restrict them myself. I like let them breathe in the YouTube world, get as much like ad revenue from them as possible. I mean, the majority of my audience are over 18 anyway. And then eventually YouTube is like, hang on a second. And then they age restrict it. Is there a difference in LGBT audience between channels? I predict more on your main. So yes, I think I would predict more on my main as well, but I do not have the data for that. That being said, I'm sure there is still a big chunk of my audience on the More Hannah channel who are LGBTQ+. I just want to know, if I watch at 2 times speed, if you only get half the watch time. If so, I'm sorry. I believe that's the case, but do not be sorry, because I watch a lot of videos on like 1.5 or 1.75 speed as well. What search terms bring people to your channel? Oh my God, am I glad that you asked, because this is one of my favorite things to show people and to compare the 2 channels, because it's hilarious. So this is YouTube search the last 365 days for the More Hannah channel. Do I find it funny or do I find it sad? Because so the first one is Hannah Witton, great. People are searching my name and finding my channel, good. And then it's boobs, sex, big boobs, vulva. Those are the main ones. And actually you can see this spike. This is really interesting. I've never looked at it like this in terms of like over time. So this big green spike at the end is people searching boobs, and what they will have been finding is the weighing my boobs video. So that's where like a load of the views for that video have come from, is people searching for boobs in YouTube. Why are you searching for boobs in YouTube? You're on the wrong website. This big orange spike is sex. This big blue spike is my name? Huh. Oh, that was pregnancy announcement time. So loads of people were searching my name because they probably like heard about the pregnancy announcement and then searching my name to try and find that content. That's interesting. With that in mind, let's look at the search terms that find people to the More Hannah YouTube channel. So as you can see already, YouTube search is like further down the list. So on the Hannah Witton channel, YouTube search was like the 2nd most popular way that people were finding my channel. We have got Hannah Witton, great. More Hannah, great. Calendar blocking, great. My personal style. I don't think I've got a single video that has that kind of thing in the title. Oh, no. Last summer or summer 2020, there was like a finding my personal style, and then time blocking, and then things like 5-year plan, story graph, what's in my bag. It's so wholesome, I love it. But yeah, let's see what these kinds of spikes are. There's less obvious spikes with this. It's just kind of more like, oh yeah, these are the search terms that generally bring people in. But we have a big spike here at the end of October for people searching my name. And then actually that's also when I announced the pregnancy on Instagram, I believe, like beginning of November, that spike. This spike, that spike for people searching my name and More Hannah came on the 23rd of December. Has that got something to do with that same spike of subscribers on the other channel around the 20th of December? I'd love to know how many couples watch you together. Me and my boyfriend do. I love it. So again, don't have the data on this. I don't know how I would find that or get that. But from reading the comments, especially on the Hannah Witton channel, yes, there are a lot of people who watch my videos together as a couple, and I love that. What is your most played playlist? Here we go. So More Hannah top playlists. We've got organisation and productivity is the top one, then lifestyle, then arts and culture, then personal, and then Vlognuka 2020. But yeah, those are the most popular ones. And then my top playlist for the Hannah Witton channel is Stoma and Disability is actually the top one. That kind of makes sense to me because with the stoma stuff specifically, people might want to like find that playlist just to get a bit more context on like, wait, she has a stoma, what? I don't understand, like, what's the story there? And so then actually they can kind of like follow the story through that playlist. The Hormone Diaries season 2 is up there, so that's the trying to conceive stuff, the fertility stuff, and then getting pregnant stuff. Again, that's like a story for people to follow, so that makes sense to me. And then sex education, fun times. Fun times is my like miscellaneous playlist because I'm just like, what is this video? It's just some fun times. And then sex toys as well. They're both pretty even. So there we have it. There is a deep dive into some of my YouTube analytics and answering some of your questions and trying to answer them. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was definitely a lot of fun for me. I don't normally like deep dive into my analytics this much, so it was kind of cool to see some of these things that I don't normally look at. If you have any further questions about it, do feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll try and do my best to answer or like find the answers. I hope that you are doing well and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!